Hi everyone, this is Peter Waterhouse here. I thought it might be useful to create a short video just to provide you with a model or an example of the kind of thing that you can do to meet the requirements for this second assignment on doing an oral presentation relating to your argument. I'm suggesting that a useful way to do this would be to think in terms of having two files, one for your video and one for your slides. And at the moment, I've got two files open on my computer in front of me. One is recording what I'm having to say to you using the camera here on my computer. The other file, just to my left on the screen here, I have my slides open, and this is the way that I'm imagining that I will be marking your assignments as well. I've got my phone here, and I've got a simple little app on the phone which gives me a timer with an hourglass, and I'm going to start that so that just by glancing down at the bottom of my screen here, I'll be able to see how much time I've got left for this video. I don't want to make it too long. So here we are. I'm imagining that you'll be looking at the first slide here, and you'll see that the title of this presentation is "What is the teacher's role in making successful differentiated learning?" I would expect to see the student's name on the title slide and an indication of what this assignment has been created for, in other words, the name of the topic and the lecturer. And also at the bottom of the slide there, the video, the link, the hyperlink to the video. So if you're watching this video now, I assume you've found that link and you've got that working. Moving on to the second slide. What we're doing here is providing an outline of the presentation. You'll see that this student, and this sample is actually based on an assignment submitted by one of the students last year. I've de-identified it and tweaked things a little bit, but basically it's what was submitted. And you'll see here that in the second slide she's talked about or provided an outline of the presentation. She's offering a definition of differentiated learning. I should have picked a topic with an easier word. She's talking about the students' needs, and she's talking about how teachers can differentiate instruction in the classroom. So that's what the presentation is going to be about. She's providing an outline of the presentation before we begin, just identifying the key issues. Moving on to slide 3, we see her first main point in the argument, which is about how the teacher can address issues of environment and the background. There's a point about the objects that the teacher might be using in various ways, and there's a further clarification of the concept of differentiated instruction. So on my notes underneath the slide, and you'll be able to see these notes, you'll see there that I've put some references and elaboration of the key points that you need to make. So this is the first point in the argument about making differentiated learning effective. Moving on to slide 4. This is an interesting slide. When you view the presentation in slide mode, in other words, without displaying the notes underneath, if you go to slide mode, you'll see the way that this student has rather cleverly incorporated quite a lot of information onto this one slide, including a graphic which slides in an animated motion to illustrate one of the key points that she's making. But the second key point here is about analyzing the student's different needs. We can't differentiate instruction effectively if we don't have a clear understanding of the student's needs. And then the third key point is she's talking about how teachers can adjust the content and the process and the product of the teaching in order to meet students' needs more effectively. So on slides 3 and 4, we have the main points, the key points about the argument that this student is hoping to develop in her critical essay. And in the notes underneath, we have some references that she's using to support the argument. If we move directly through to slide number 5, we see the conclusion that this student is beginning to develop about her argument. She's thinking about what it takes to be successful. How can we be successful with differentiated instruction for students? So on slide number 5, we've got a comment about thinking about success in relation to the student and success in relation to the teacher's needs. And then she finishes with a quote from the literature, or I should say some evidence from the literature about providing students with the tools that they've needed, or the tools that they need to be successful. And in this case, I've used the analogy or the metaphor of a step ladder being the tool that the students might need to get to where they need to go. Finally, slide 6 offers the reference list for this second assignment. You'll see there that I think she has 8 different references identified on that references list. Several of those references have been used as in-text citations in the speaker's notes underneath the slides. That list of 8 would have included the original 4 that were used for the annotated bibliography, but obviously she has added to the 4 that she originally had for assignment 1. And she will continue to read and to study, and by the time we get to the critical essay, I would expect that there will be more references to add to the references list. But in this case, she's got, I think, 8 references there that support the argument at this point in the development. So I've been going for a bit over 5 minutes now. I think this is roughly the kind of length that you'll have. In fact, I can see on the timer here that I'm actually at 7 minutes and 20 seconds. So that's long enough. You don't need to go any longer than that. You will need to think carefully about what you want to say and rehearse what you want to say. You'll probably need to have a couple of goes at it to get it right for the recording. But basically, make your recording to be a support, to supplement the slides, and I'll be able to see your presentation and your slides and make a judgment about how these two things go together. So that's all for now. I hope you find that helpful. Cheerio.